Welcome. My name is Karlina Likovic, and I am a doctor in psychology. And today I want to present to you a class about violence, fundamentally couples' relationships, and trying to analyze and deepen the concepts related to this topic. We know that violence is a grave problem, and since 2002, the World Health Organization has considered it as an epidemic. I believe, and it is in the spirit of this class, that we must analyze certain concepts to be able to think about this subject with the conviction that such an important social problem must be addressed with. It must be thought about and worked on by all professionals involved in health fields and by those professionals who are involved in some aspect with men or women who are victims.
Violence is a historical, ancient phenomenon that has existed throughout the times. However, it is in recent years where it has come to light, and before we could not begin to study it, to take in its complexity, nor mention that which at the moment is now considered an epidemic. The World Health Organization has done over the years different studies to demonstrate and to begin to have certain statistics about what is rising. And here in the United States, there are different universities that have taken and deepened the study of violence in different aspects. For example, Miles, Strauss, and Murray have tried to establish when patterns of violence begin between men and women. In the last 15 years, they have focused their study in different universities. They have done experiments on university students, and what they have demonstrated using different scales of measurement is that predominantly in the couples' relationships in university students, the violence is bidirectional.
The general difference between aggression and violence is that aggression is considered as an innate biological mechanism of all species. There is not always a premeditation or an intention to exercise violence where there is aggression. Violence, on the other hand, is an intentional, premeditated act of dominating, hurting, or killing the victim. In violence, there is a differentiation between the victim and the perpetrator, where the perpetrator always exercises an asymmetrical relationship and power in relation to the victim with an intentional and premeditated act.
Psychoanalysis suggests that humankind is subject to the assistance of other human beings. The Homo sapien is the only species that is born in a situation of helplessness and that needs the assistance and care of another human to survive. Based on this, we can think, and psychoanalysis suggests and develops it deeply, what is necessary in addition to care? The love and the possibility of the baby identifying with the people to whom are its parents or fulfill this role in order to have a model. and from that to form what type of man, what type of woman he or she will be in the future. Children are acquiring in form and from identification models, ways of being, ways of acting, ways of relating, ways to love, ways of caring, and also inside of that, building their personality, everything that has to do with narcissism and self-esteem. We see in present-day society and in most Western societies that the roles between men and women are still very differentiated, as the girl is weighed and praised by her beauty and capacities of being the caregiver and love provider. The boy is given the role of, or has to have the role of, someone strong, who provides, who is not afraid, who can face anything. The times, the economic crisis, the demands of post-modernity have shown us that these roles can no longer be held accountable for what is happening. However, we continue to perpetuate them. We continue functioning as a society with parameters and modes that made sense for the demands of the societies of the 19th or 20th centuries, for example, but that at this moment cannot give answers to the complexity of the new phenomena that we are facing.
The construction of the gender identity refers to all those processes of learning and cultural construction, starting with the primary socialization that mainly comes from the family, which assigns mandates and roles to each of the people of both genders. Socialization will continue throughout the whole life of each person, and together with it, the construction of the identification process, how they are built in the masculine and feminine identities, preserves the subjects to be rooted in relation to their gender and the hierarchy of power. The family nucleus, like the patriarchal system, is defined by the mandates around who dominates and who is dominated, who can and who cannot, who has and who does not, who knows and who does not know. And thus, a system of rules and laws is being established that must be fulfilled, as well as a set of sanctions for the violators of prevailing norms. The patriarchy establishes a system of rules that can be found teaching the girl, that is, what is proper of the feminine virtues, what she should want, what she should and cannot aspire to, or should aspire as a woman, what is proper for her gender and what is proper of the other gender. It is necessary to emphasize that in the patriarchal system, the masculine identity is constructed basically by dismission and by denial. The men have to live excluding, destroying everything that looks feminine. At the same time, they have to deny certain feelings, attitudes, and emotions that are considered to evoke weakness and have to do with femininity. They have to live denying relationships of tenderness and repressing everything that puts them in a spot where they should ask for or give affection.